Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today we are joined by Laura Belgrave, a talented videographer and photographer who's rediscovered her love for fitness and become one of the standout storytellers in the Hyrox world. She captures the raw, powerful, and often painful moments athletes experience on race day, and also works with top brands like Gymshark and ESN, and making big moves in this space that is still dominated by men. We were really lucky to work with Laura in Dublin. She brought our race to life. She captured every high, every low, all in a cinematic story that is perfectly Instagrammable. So that's a little plug for LB Visuals. But we really wanted to find out what is it like behind the lens at one of the world's fastest growing fitness races. So it's been awesome to hook up and get you on the podcast. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
Yeah, this is going to be a really different take, I think, as well. So we're really interested to find out more about your running around behind the scenes on Hyrox days. But maybe first we could ask how you got into this. How did LB Visuals begin? Has it always been a passion of yours? And also maybe like mixing the two together, fitness and videography. Like, where did it all start?
I've always had a passion for fitness, photography, videography. At school, I did media, and then college, I did photography. All kind of linked into what, even when I was younger, I used to horse ride a lot, and I always used to get my dad to take videos of me, and I would like these little edits together, and it was all quite cute, and then upload them to YouTube, and that's kind of where it all started from like the age of about 11 or 12. And from then onwards, I just knew that I loved to create content, but back then it wasn't really anything that was either a job. It was, I thought, oh, maybe I'll work in film, and that's why I'll do media and things like that. And I had a camera from the age of 16, got it for my 16th birthday. That was a big moment. I was like, oh, I've really got my first camera here, take loads of photos. I'd go out and make all my friends do poses and I'd have a good time. And yeah, and then it kind of, I went to college, and then it was more, okay, I want to do more of the media side of things. The photos was first, video kind of came second, but then I realized I actually really like video a lot more. um and yeah, it kind of just went from there. And then obviously left college, I decided not to go to uni. I did a marketing apprenticeship, finished that, then unfortunately COVID happened. So COVID meant that I couldn't continue that role in my job, and I got made redundant. So it was a bit like oh, what happens now? I'll just find something else to do in that time period where everyone else was also struggling for work. I then found another job. I was like, perfect. And it was in media and marketing again. And I was like, brilliant, still in the same wavelength. Let's just continue it. I know I'm good. I know I like it. And then I got made redundant again. And I was like, it felt like a constant cycle of just getting somewhere and then having, and I don't want to make this a sob story at all. It's more actually that I was never meant to be on that path, I believe, because I was like, every time I try and get somewhere, it would be either be taken away or not work. And I was like, well, why is it not working? I know I'm good at it, and I know I love it. And I've always been such a determined person. I knew that I always needed to be something doing like creative. Academics at school wasn't really my thing. So yeah, I then 2023 November time, so literally 2 years, I got made redundant again. And I thought, no, now is the time. I need to try something new. And I've always wanted to be my own boss, basically. And it's scary, isn't it? Like, no one really wants to make the leap. But when I got made redundant the second time, I thought, well, something's telling me now just to take the leap. I was in a position where I had LB Fit, which was my personal fitness account. And I'd had a community built on there of girls and people in the fitness space. I just started getting into Hyrox, and I thought I was in a position where if I could give myself 6 months, let's see what happens. And yeah, I just took the plunge, and I thought, if it doesn't work, we'll find something else and let's just go with it. But yeah, I had my sponsorships with Gymshark and ESN at the time. I really wanted to push my personal page too, and I thought these two go really hand in hand, and it means that I can create a community of people, and I can create people's videos for them in a creative way for Hyrox, which I know I would love. And yeah, that's kind of just how it happened. And I kind of fell into it, and it's like amazing because I normally would be like, oh, you have to do this and this and this, and there's not really, these days I feel like everything just happens. And in social media, things just happen for a reason, and there isn't really a strict path that you can tell people to go. But yeah, it was a leap, and it worked, and I worked incredibly hard to get to where it was, and it didn't come easy. It was a lot of struggles along the way, trying to work out whether what I was doing was correct, or whether I should maybe try something different. It was working with a lot of friends in the industry as well. I have so many people that I can thank for just even getting my foot in the door. But yeah, it kind of just happened, and I'm so grateful. So yeah, that's kind of how LB Visuals came to life.
Yeah,
That is wild.
Yeah.
I also think like kudos to you. I know you said it just happened, you kind of fell into it, but I think also it's like one of those things, isn't it, where like preparation, you'd done so much background, you'd worked so hard for years that
Yeah.
preparation meets opportunity, doesn't it? And then so you are in the right place to be able to step
Yeah,
into
I
it.
always knew I was on the right tracks, but I could never just feel like I could just continue with something. And it was like, why is something not working all the time? But I never strayed to do anything else. I tried to be an estate agent once. That didn't work.
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure a
tried
creative
everything.
person should be
I
a
really
estate
did.
agent.
Yeah, and it's just like nothing would work, and I just thought, God, why is it not working for me? But yeah, being made redundant is never fun for anyone, and it was so scary at the time, but it honestly was hands down the best thing that ever happened to me. And I was really lucky as well in my old job. My boss and my marketing manager, she was amazing. She always was there being like, we know what you do outside of work, we're so proud of you. And then when it happened, it was all really sad for everyone, and she was like, you need to go do this, and she was the one that pushed me. So yeah, I actually have her to thank too.
Yeah, I think like sometimes these, I guess, maybe more negative things like being made redundant can turn into a positive. It's the exact same thing that happened like with me years ago. I got made redundant, and then that's what made me set up a cafe because I didn't know then I like followed my passion.
Yeah,
So it's like you obviously always have it in the back of your mind, but it's like, oh, should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Like it's scary, but I think
yeah,
just like to see like the content you're creating, obviously how booked up you are at the events, like it's incredible that it's like turned into something so amazing and you following your passion as well. I wanted to ask like a bit, I mean, you touched on like obviously it's not been an easy road, but like I can imagine the actual Hyrox events, like specifically, if we're going down that route first, maybe,
yeah. I
and
mean,
then we
that is the
can,
main thing. That's the main
yeah,
thing that I do. Yeah, so I would always stick to that.
yeah, like could you kind of give us an insight? I mean, the amount of work you do, the running around, the filming people, the then downloading it. I mean, we did a race and then you'd put up something like that night about the pro doubles women, like the turnaround was so quick and then getting the edits out to everyone. Like, I mean, I was like really impressed with like the speed because I think the amount of content you must have just to download is like unreal. So do you mind giving a bit of a like background on a Hyrox weekend?
Yeah, well, firstly, thank you. That's like the best feedback that you can have as a videographer because it is such a high-paced environment, especially at Hyrox. Like, even as a spectator or an athlete, you know, as soon as you step into that venue, the adrenaline's high. Literally everything around you is fast-paced. There's nowhere to sit down and be quiet. And if you're there all the time, you know a lot of people as well. There's constantly people coming up to you saying, "Hi, how are you? Haven't seen you in ages." And like, I feel like it's a weird way to describe it, but I feel like my brain is in one place, but like my body is in another place. Like I'm thinking where do I need to go next, but I need to be present in the moment because I've got people that I want to see and chat to. Got to meet the athletes as well because if I've not met you before, I need to obviously know what you look like. So yeah, the main things are turn up to the venue with enough time, make plans ahead of time with the athletes. Normally the warm-up zone or the bag drop's a good place. Just to kind of meet, have a quick chat, see if there's anything that they definitely want recorded. If there's anything they don't want recorded, some people don't want certain stations. Yeah, and then just to kind of get a gauge of their running splits. And I always say to athletes as well, like there's no pressure at all. It's just I just need to know roughly where I need to be. Things like that is really helpful. Obviously what they're wearing, and things like that. And then when it comes to actually racing, there's a few pointers that I always think about. It's always get the start. If it depends on how many laps there is. If it's like Dublin, for example, with your girls' race, it was a 4-lap venue. Some people say that's a bonus. Some people say that's a negative. Like I thought, okay, got 4 times to spot you, but then also I need to be at the station. So I split it up in 2 and I did spot twice, then go to the station. Because by the time I'd seen you twice, I could kind of gauge where you'd be on the stations. Like people always say, like us as videographers and photographers, we have this sixth sense, like we just know when people are going to come in. And like everyone's like, well, how do you know I was going to be there? And I was like, I just know. Like, I can just kind of work it out. I think it's just like when you've done something so many times, you have a rough idea of timings, and like family and friends will be watching and supporting the athletes with me, and they'll be like, where do we go, and I'm like, I think it'll be about here, and then I'll be like, any minute now, and then you'll literally come in, and it's just like it just becomes second nature. And when it comes to actually filming, yeah, it's very fast paced. I mean, the sport is getting faster and faster, the like it just is getting better, and it's obviously more fast paced. People are running quicker times, and I'm like, whoa, how do I get the stations this quickly? Like the men's pro races for me are up here. Like it's a lot, because the adrenaline's so high, it's late at night, they're going really, really quick, and they're so in the, I mean, women's pro as well, but they're so in the zone, and you're thinking like, I don't want to distract them, but then, and I always say to people, don't look for me. I will, if I'm not there, don't stress, because there will be times where I'll be at the end of the sled and not next to you, or at the side, and the people say, oh, I didn't even see you, how did you get that clip? But that's amazing, I didn't even see. And sometimes I'm on the floor, like underneath the barriers, like so there's just so many things that you just kind of learn along the way, and it becomes so second nature. And yeah, afterwards, it's when I have like sometimes 10 plus athletes in a weekend, and obviously the content builds up, and you need to just be like, okay, your video will be with you within this amount of time. And then it's a kind of like, it's not a pressure to get things over to all the athletes, because I know everyone understands, but it's, I want to deliver a service that you guys have paid for, and that your guys will love, and hopefully return. So yeah, I always make sure to do like a small clip and edit for every athlete within 24 hours, just so they can post it to their story, so they can see the clips, and it always gives them a boost, gives me a boost. And yeah, it's just an extra thing that I like to do for all athletes. But it's a very fast-paced environment, and I think you have to be a certain type of person to really, really dial in and lock in on the day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard enough, like even just spectating when you're watching somebody and trying to get to the next station on time.
Yeah.
And I know, like, probably with practice and things, because you've seen so many different athletes, like you said, you know where they are. But have you had a course? Because like Dublin had quite a small rock zone, so you could
Yeah.
get to all the different stations quite easily. But I remember when we were out in Melbourne last year and we were trying to watch, like that was quite big. And so you're trying to get
Yeah.
to it, or crowds, for example, like sometimes you can't even get in, and you don't have, Hyrox don't do like the media passes where they let
No.
you guys in the stations, do they? So have you ever had
No.
a moment where you've had to like kind of go, excuse me, sorry, can I get through?
Very,
Like
very rarely.
elbows.
Yeah, no elbows ever. I always never any elbows. But the one thing I do is I'll always be mindful of the spectators. At the end of the day, like they've paid the same amount of money to be there as I have, because we're on spectator passes. I mean, I've got a good relationship with a lot of the Hyrox staff and the videographers, and they know me, and they love what I do, and I love what they do. We've got a good relationship there. But yeah, it's always be mindful of everyone around you, because at the end of the day, everyone wants to watch the same people, and everyone's there for the same reason. Just because I've got a big camera doesn't give me any right to push in front. That being said, a lot of people will say, yeah, just slot in here, and I'll always bend down, and I'll be like, I'll be 5 seconds, and then I'm literally off again. Yeah, just always be mindful, be kind, and I've never like, well, I wouldn't want to be like that, because I think if you're there to think you're higher and above everyone else, then you're not in it for the right reasons. Like, I love it because I love being creative, and I love being able to create videos for people so they can watch back their race. But yeah, we're talking about bigger venues, it is definitely harder. Dublin was amazing for that sense, because it was so small. I could get to like 3 different points on each station before everyone had left. Whereas I've had it before, London Olympia, that's a lot of videographers' nightmares, because we had to keep going up and down the stairs to get to the wall balls. The crossings in Glasgow were sometimes a problem. This is just ones that come into top of my head. But yeah, I mean, Hyrox do the best they can to be able to create a spectator zone what they've got. And we just have to work with it. Like, for example, in Dublin, the ski wasn't very viewable. And I just said to all the athletes, look, I'll try my absolute best, but we have to work with what we're given. And everyone's understanding. And yeah, you just have to work with what's given. And I know that Hyrox is doing their best to be able to give the best back to the spectators and the athletes, because parents, like children, families, they all want to watch just as much as I want to watch. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you've done an amazing job, and you do manage to cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, a lot of steps are done in one day.
I was gonna say, do you record your steps? Like,
I have got an Apple Watch, on average like 25,000 roughly.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
back and forth. And I know obviously into your fitness, and you've done Hyrox yourself. Do you ever race the same weekend that you're working,
Yeah.
or does that not go down to I mean, I
Yeah,
can't imagine because you probably don't get much sleep, do you? But
yeah, good question. I do. I've learned along the way the best ways to do it. I've raced at the end of the weekend, I've raced in the middle, and I've raced at the start. And the end, I wouldn't recommend to anyone. The middle is actually probably just nearly as bad because you're so focused on what you've just been doing, and then you, in the back of my mind, this is what happened in Birmingham. I had 2 days, then I raced, and then I had 2 days again, and I was like, how I couldn't switch off. And also because pre-race you're meant to be fueling correctly, and this, I mean, as an athlete I want to be able to perform the best I can, but if I'm running around after other athletes, I'm not. There's not no feet up protocol, there's no chilling out. Like it just has to be done. So there is a sense of, I sometimes wish that I would just race and then not work, but then also I love my job. So because I'm like, well, how would I know what the potential is? But then also I think, well, if I can race and work and still get these times that I'm so proud of, then good for me, kind of thing. Like I just, but yeah, in London coming up next week, I'm racing at the start of the week. So nothing will be done beforehand, and then the rest after we'll just have to power on through. So,
Yeah.
but that's the best example.
DOMs.
Yeah, but you know what? Actually, I found after Birmingham, when I raced in the middle of the week, because I was continuously moving for 2 days after, the DOMs weren't bad. It's when it's at the end of the week, and then I kind of get home and think, oh, I just want to sit down for like 5 days, and then that's when the DOMs will come, and I'm like, oh, probably should have kept moving a little bit. But yeah, racing at the start of the week is definitely the most logical thing, but obviously we can't decide when the categories come out. But I get, if there is at the start of the week, it's always quieter as well, because now the weekends are getting so long. Like we're starting on Wednesdays sometimes, so yeah, it's definitely the start of the week is what I would suggest if anyone was to do it.
Yeah, and does the camera weigh a lot? Because I just
Yeah,
feel like your arms would just be aching, and you'd be like
yeah.
trying to stay still, and you're like shaking.
Yeah, when I used to start, I actually thought about bringing the gimbal, which is basically like a
Oh
stabilizer for the
yeah.
camera. That would not, it made it actually harder, because if you're in a small space and you've got this big machine, like gimbal machine, you're like, how am I meant to? And then if the gimbal doesn't calibrate, and then I just thought, no, let's just keep it as in handheld. But yeah, the lens is, yeah, quite heavy, and there is times where, like, after, I mean, the last day of Dublin, I literally was like, I sometimes balance my arm on the barrier, but then I'm like, this is actually quite dangerous, because if someone hits the barrier and my arm goes, I'm like, no, just crack on, Laura, just keep going. But yeah, the
Just have
camera can be
shoulders
quite,
of steel.
yeah, camera can be quite heavy. But also it's only short periods of time anyway. Like by the time the athletes move, then I'm moving again. It's more like when I'm going through the crowds, obviously I can't go and put the lens cap back on, so I either hold it above my head so people know it's there, because no one would ever do it intentionally, but like it's just such a busy environment. If people were to knock into me, I would never forgive myself. So I either hold it above my head just to keep it out of people's way, or I'll hold it kind of to my chest facing up and have a jumper or something over it, because you never know. Like it's a lot of
isometric hold.
yeah, literally like above my head.
Going through the crowds.
Yeah.
Oh god,
Oh god.
so good. And then I think we saw in your story something, or your Instagram, a little bit about how you kind of found your love for fitness again through Hyrox and now your work and what you're doing. Like, have you always been like, you said you horse ride when
Yeah.
you were younger, but have you always been into like running in the gym, or like has that come later on in life? And what's kind of like your, I guess, fitness journey and LB Fit, kind of where did all that come from?
Yeah, so yeah, as I mentioned, I was an equestrian until about the age of 21, so until lockdown really, and that was a saving grace in lockdown, because obviously I was allowed to be outside and I was still able to do what I love to do. And then after lockdown, I had to kind of make the decision where I was getting into adult life. I was like, how do I balance? I can't just go to the stables all the time anymore. Like I actually have to do the job. But yeah, it was hard to decide whether to balance fitness in the gym, because I also was going to the gym from the age of about 18. So a couple of years used to overlap. But I was only working part-time, so I had the time to do both. And then when I became full-time, I had to decide. I still love horses, and I have a lot of relationships with horses. Like I still help people with their horses quite local to me. Like I have that kind of bond with horses still. I think if I was ever to not be around horses, it would feel weird, because it's always been something I've had since my childhood. I don't ride as much anymore, but because I had to make the decision, I'd rather be in the gym. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like riding a bike. Like I know if I was to ever go on a horse again, it'd be absolutely fine. But yeah, so the gym started when I was about 18. Just because I was interested, but I went into it in the sense of I want to be big, strong, that kind of vibe, like no cardio. That was not on my agenda. So yeah, I think when you go into the gym, you're either one or the other. You either want to be big and strong or you're a cardio bunny. And I was like, I didn't want to be the cardio side of things. So yeah, I would lift weights 5 times a week, bulk up in the winter, cut down in the summer, that kind of vibe. Like cardio was not a thing. The only cardio I did was the Stairmaster, if I'm being honest, and that was probably about 3 months of the year. And other than that, it was not on my agenda. And then Hyrox started to kind of, I'd say, boom like middle of 2023. And then people were buying tickets for the 23-24 season. And Gymshark actually did a conditioning club with Jake Williamson. And I went down and I was like, oh, let me just see what this is all about. Like, it can't be that hard, can it? Like, and
was that a CrossFit Vauxhall?
Yeah,
yeah, I remember it because we were in London and we couldn't make it. I was like, I think I would know which one you're talking about.
That, honestly, that conditioning club, Gymshark, Jake, everyone there, they are the reason that I do what I do, and it's pretty amazing. Like I do say to Jake sometimes, like if I never went to that class, I don't know where I'd be, because that was also the week I got made redundant. So like everything happened in that week. So yeah, I at least got made redundant on the Wednesday, went to the class on the Thursday, and I was like, I need to do something, and it was just that instant switch. And yeah, I went to the class, was very, very humbled. Those 200-meter sprints were really, really a lot for me, but everyone there was so kind and they really wanted to just help and teach. Like my wall balls, I couldn't even hit the target. It was just like, it was a lot. And I decided then I wanted to be fitter as an all-rounder, kind of like being able to say yes to more things like this, because I found it really fun, the community side of it, where I was training in the gym alone. It was quite isolating and I wouldn't go anywhere else. Like I just stay at home, wouldn't go to London. Like I'm not far from London, so it was exciting to be able to go out and meet new people. And yeah, so I did that, and then I actually signed up to London Olympia the next year. So I had about 6 months to kind of get race ready, let's say. I mean, I literally had never ran, so I was like, let's just get through it, kind of thing. And I did. I got through the race. I enjoyed it, and it was just one of those things. I thought, yeah, I need to do this again, but this time I'm going to really, really dial in, sort my running out, and then go again. And that's when I got my coach, and I actually met my coach on the same night as the CrossFit Vauxhall. So everything happened in not 1 week. It's really, really cute actually when you think about it, because my coach now, and I still have him now to this day, he got me a 24-minute PB for my second race. Yeah, so I went from a 1 hour 48 to a 1 hour 24 in mixed from yeah. So it was a lot, and it was a big moment, and I thought, okay, if I can do that, I mean, obviously granted he did a lot of the heavy lifting, but for me it was just to be able to get and hold the runs consistently. And I said to him, I was like, if I just do a little bit of the stations just to test out the men's weights, let's see how it goes. And yeah, 24 minutes knocked off, and then yeah, that's kind of how it went from there. And then that bit onwards, I then decided I wanted to do a solo, which was very humbling. And then women's doubles is definitely my favorite, I would say, but I think it's most people's favorite. I just like to be able to kind of bounce off someone in the race and like have someone to lean back on. And I think you guys, I was listening to a podcast you did the other day, and I think it was Zara, and you were saying like the doubles race is now really, really important because you can push yourself so much more. Like solo is a bit isolating, but then also the doubles, you really know what you're made of. And I really, really love that about the sport.
Yeah. No, but it's so crazy, isn't it? How everything can change in one moment. Like how, because you just said about that day at CrossFit Vauxhall, like you met your coach, you'd just been made redundant, you found like a love for like maybe some cardio and some running as well as the strength stuff, and it's just kind of like changed your life around. Just from that one moment. And sometimes I think like you can have a massive like low, can't you? But you just, there's always something that follows that just it's never forever, is it? If somebody's right now having a tough time and doesn't really know what to do, or struggling, I guess that it's quite a good story to say it doesn't last and it can just take one thing
No,
that
absolutely. And
maybe.
even my fitness, like in the gym at that point as well, I was just a bit bored. And that's just because
Yeah.
I've been doing it for years and years and years, and I just thought there's got to be something else. Like I know I'm made of more kind of thing. So yeah, yeah, it's one of those weeks that I will never ever forget, and it's like
Yeah.
really, really, really wholesome.
And
Yeah.
how sorry, I was just gonna how
Yeah.
have you found the running? Because obviously you said, oh, you didn't run and then you had to
Yeah.
get into it. Like how was that journey to obviously
It's
you've been running pretty fast recently, so how
yeah.
was that from not running to there? Did you have some ups and downs, or did you just follow a running program, or how did you do it?
Yeah, I am. Well, at the start, I got shin splints a lot. I was like, because it was just one of those things. I think I upped the volume too quickly. I didn't really think about it. I thought, oh, if other people can run 5:30 splits, then why can't I? Kind of thing. And like, I just didn't really know the ins and outs. So yeah, the first, I'd say like 8 months to a year, I was just sticking to literally zone twos, no speed sessions, just to kind of get my endurance up. A lot of bike work as well, because I didn't want to impact too much. Where I've literally done no running. I mean, even when I was younger, I wouldn't really run. Like I'd do like 100-meter sprint on sports day, and that was about it. Like I hated the long distance stuff. And yeah, I think I still don't have a real love for running, which is a weird thing to say in a sport of Hyrox. But I think for Hyrox, it's just the overall sport for me. Like it's everything all in one. It's being able to be strong and have endurance, and like the running side now is getting a lot better. Like I did hybrid games a couple of days ago in London, and that was shorter runs, only 600 meters rather than a kilometer. And I much prefer the runs being shorter, but then also you then have to run faster. So it's like, well, it comes hand in hand a little bit. But yeah, I'm really, really dialing in after Hyrox London with my running. As I've got big things coming up with running, which are a bit scary to say, but yeah, I've got a London Marathon space, which is a bit scary, but yeah,
No
Oh,
way.
amazing.
yeah,
You will love it. It's the best marathon.
yeah. I am. So it's a little bit scary because like I've never ran further than like 12 kilometers, but I'm sure I'll be absolutely fine. So yeah, the running side of it for me in Hyrox is definitely the hardest part. But even after my race at the weekend at Hybrid Games, I was like, okay, that run didn't feel too bad. Like it actually started to feel a little bit more like a recovery. And I thought, oh, this is what people were talking about. Like that's what it's meant to feel like. It's not meant to feel like completely dying on the way around and then get to the sleds and have nothing to give. Like yeah, it's kind of ticking over slowly, but yeah, the running is improving, and I'm learning to love it a little bit more. But it doesn't come easy to a lot of people, and
No, totally. And it's consistency, isn't it? Like
yeah,
it's just keeping, that like every 6 months, like you make improvements, like just
yeah.
by keeping it going and keeping it going. Like
I think it's
and,
daunting. It's the long runs for me are daunting as well. I'm like, oh, it's
Mm.
gonna take a long time. Like I'm just gonna be me myself and I. But yeah, like listening to podcast music, find
Yeah.
different routes. Like it's yeah, just get it done, and then you feel it's the feeling after. Like it's the feeling after everything. Like the long runs, the high rocks feeling when you cross the finish line. That's the reason I do it. Like it's not in when you're in the pain cave. You're like, why am I doing? And then as soon as you get over the line, all the pain goes away. And yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah, and you
yeah,
sign
I
up for the
mean,
next thing. You're like, bloody
no.
Yeah,
hell.
like, when's I gonna go now?
Now you've said like the pain cave. Like when you're filming people at High Rocks, like do you ever like film people and think, God, that looks really painful, and then like remind yourself that you maybe have to do the race in like two
Yeah,
days time, or like
yeah.
I feel like that's got to be the worst thing to do.
I think in Birmingham, when my race was in the middle of the week, I had probably like half my clients before my race, and some of them, yeah, they looked very painful. People were going for PBs, sub hours, all that kind of stuff, and I was like, oh, I haven't done this and that was my first race back in the season. So I was like, I haven't done this since May. I've kind of forgotten what that pain feels like, but now I know I've got to do it. And it was more nerve-wracking going to it in the middle of the week because I'd watched everyone do it. But the only thing that was good was I then knew the track like the back of my hand. So I was like, well, I know the laps. I know
Yeah.
where to go. And also like if anyone's filming me, like family or friends or other videographers, there's so many of us in the industry that I've got friends with, and like everyone knows the best spots. And I say, I found this spot really good to film from here, and they'll go, yep, yeah, brilliant. And like we'll always bounce off each other as well. Like when we see each other, it is at, like you said, unfortunately quite a male dominated industry. And I only know me and there's one other girl. There is a few others, but like closely, only me and one other girl. And yeah, there's a lot of men, but it is what it is. I mean, it doesn't really fuss me. Like, I'm not that bothered. But one thing a lot of girls have said to me, which is kind of a bit of a niche, they say if filming like their races, they want it to be a female because they want the female to know how to film. And I'm like, that's brilliant. Like, in the sense of like women supporting women, but also the men in the industry, they're just as good as me. And I think I learned so much from being in a male dominated industry, which is a really weird thing to say, like, not to be like, oh well, women should, but it's like everyone is there doing the same job, and they're also so supportive as well. So yeah, it's a really nice community of all of us that we have. But yeah, filming in a high intensity environment, seeing people in the pain cave is quite daunting when you've got to do it in a couple of days.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because it like, and like you say, it is a male dominated industry, and I think for both of us, we probably warmed to you more because you were a female, and I like that probably was like one of my
You probably did it
not
subconsciously, did you?
Yeah, no,
subconsciously,
people
yeah,
do, and it's
not
it's
that
a
I
lovely thing. But
yeah, like it's not that I thought, oh, I would like a female to film me. I just kind of think like because we've had like
yeah,
male photographers on like different events and things take pictures of us, and it doesn't bother me. But like I think maybe like you say subconsciously, I was just like, oh, I think that would be nice, and
yeah,
maybe you'd have like a different
it's a women
angle, or
supporting
you
women
do,
kind of vibe. That's literally
yeah,
what it is. And it's, people don't do it in a like kind of obvious way. It's more like, oh, she's a female, she'll know like the best, like girls know what girls want. That's the main
yeah,
thing.
Yeah, it's so
yeah,
true though.
It's just
You're not going to go
true.
and put like a rough photo of like, I don't know.
No.
yeah,
And I like to think like when it's especially females, like I always think, oh, I know they'd like that. Like
yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
confident they're gonna like this. And it's like even choosing music, that's something that's really, really, I always say to clients, like, any music that you want, please let me know beforehand. Because it's like quite a daunting job, because you're like, if I do this whole edit and they don't like the music, then how do I go and do that again? Like, it's yeah.
But then that's so funny because like you just said, and then you asked the question, you asked us about music. And like usually I'd say we're quite specific. I mean, you're really specific. Even if you put like music to a picture on Instagram, it takes Em about 40 minutes to choose the song. Whereas
I
I
think
probably,
it's
I did the
really
same.
important.
Yeah,
yeah,
It's
it's
you're
really
like
probably very similar. But I just got that feeling when I was talking to you. I was like, oh, I just know you'll pick a good song. And I don't know
yeah.
why. I just was like, I just know you would. And then I think the same thing when you said, oh, you'll be like, oh, the girls are like that. I think even little things like the
Yeah.
outfits that you pick, like
Oh
you
yeah.
picked up on the back of like I think it was M's sports bra because it's quite cool at the back, and
Yeah.
you just picked up on one detail on that, and we were like, oh, that's cool. And it's so weird that I don't know,
You would
would
never think
a
of
guy
it.
might pick it up, but I don't know, does a guy like
To be
outfits
fair,
as much as a guy? I don't know.
yeah.
It
A
depends who
lot
it
of
is, but
it's coming to, yeah, I mean, I've a lot of the guys that I work with in the industry, like I've learned a lot of things from them, in the sense of like picking up on details, like
mm,
shoes, or back to sports
mm,
bras, or like even girls' hair in a bun, like that can look
yeah,
really cute. And like, yeah, they do definitely have the eye for it, but a lot of females will just be naturally drawn to females because you're like, you know exactly what and also it comes from my background in the fitness space as well. Like, I
yeah,
know how to film girls of fitness because I know how I would want to be filmed. And that is the one of the probably the biggest selling points I've had people say to me. They're like, well, you know how to do it because you're in it and you know exactly what we want. So I'm sold, kind of thing. And I'm like, wow, that's a really, really, well, flattering comment, really. Like, I'm really, really honored to do it.
yeah,
yeah.
no, I mean, I was like really impressed. I think
Oh, thank you.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
was like, God, that was good. Like, God, you made me look better than I felt. That's for sure.
I do you know what my best thing about the job is when I wish I could get those mini edits that I sent to you on the day, and I wish I could just find you in person and be like, look at this. And I
Oh,
wish I
so you
could
can see
like
the reaction.
see, that's all I want to do, because it's like the first thing I ever see, and it's like it's the best feeling when someone's like, that is amazing, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a real, really like positive that, oh, I know I've done it. Yeah, it's another tick. I'm like,
Mm,
yes. And it just gives me
yeah.
like instant like boost. I just love it.
Yeah,
no.
instant feedback that what you've created
Yeah.
is, yeah. Well, our reaction was pretty cool. Next time, maybe we'll record it for you,
Yeah.
so you can
Yeah.
see
Any of my
it.
clients that are listening, please record your reaction.
Yeah, yeah. Anyone that gets a video, selfie, looking at the video. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you do any other, is it like, do you do any other filming, or is it just kind of fitness and
No, so I do,
Hyrox?
yeah, so I do other stuff. I actually had my first wedding the other day,
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
which
wow.
was really daunting. I thought, cool, this is pressure. I was like,
Yeah,
Hyrox is
yeah.
pressure, but this is like pressure. But yeah, they're more like local to me. Hyrox is what I mostly travel for because everyone's obviously going to the same venue, and we all travel to the same convention centres. So, um, but yeah, a lot of one-to-ones with clients too. Like I've had a lot of online coaches saying that they want either promotion videos or even just like form videos for their apps is a really like popular thing for a lot of online coaches. I've also had beauticians try and like photography in their salons recently, events, parties. Yeah, I'm open to most things. It's just that fitness is obviously my bread and butter, so that's where most of my clientele have come from. And then obviously the more I do, the more I seem to get back. So it's just continuously within fitness. But yeah, I find fitness so fun to film because I can make it my own and it's always fast paced. And I personally, as a creative, I love fast paced content rather than slow. So where Hyrox is so fast paced, I'm like, well, this is like I'm sold. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
And
that's
then
so fun.
for like, for a Hyrox day, I mean, maybe this is like a really boring question that only I'm interested in, but you know, I'm gonna ask it anyway. Like, how, maybe you don't even know the answer. If you were filming like our race, like
Yeah.
how many clips, like how much stuff do you
How
get?
many
And then you
footage?
film, yeah, footage, that's the word. And then you
Yeah.
film
Stuff.
another race. So say you did, I don't know, what's the average, like 4 athletes in a day, or is that too many? I don't know.
4 is maximum.
For
On
in a
average, probably like 2, 3, 4 is doable, but it's at a put. If that's like a long day, that's normally like a 2 in the morning, 1 afternoon, 1 evening, which is usually like a men's pro or something. But
okay.
yeah, footage wise, I usually aim for like I try to film the runs like 3 or 4 times just to have different. Because also sometimes people go fast so quick, and I'm like, oh, gone. Okay, I'm like,
I'll get them at the end of the race.
I'm like, oh, so yeah, footage wise, normally there's about, depends if it's doubles or singles as well, because I'm filming 2 people. I'd say like on average, top of my head, like 60 to 100 videos per pair or solo, roughly.
Yeah, that's like
But
a
they're
lot.
all very quick. They're all like 1 to 5, 5 to 8 seconds, like nothing longer than that, because it's just easier to have short bursts. Because I know when I'm editing it all together, I'm not going to have very long periods of time where it's like footage, unless it's like a start video, coming out the start tunnel. But yeah, around
Like
100 max, I'd say.
it's a lot to go through. Like,
I have to be a bit cutthroat sometimes as well. Like I'm literally going through and I'm like, I literally drag and drop. I'm like, yeah, no, into like different folders. So it's like a backup folder of if I ever need any like space filler for
Fillers,
something,
yeah.
I can then grab something from there. But if I know something, I'm like, yeah, definitely going to use that one. Drag it to the S folder. But yeah,
okay, yeah.
military operation.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is like, God, I find it fascinating. Like,
I
and I
think
Yeah.
even just us doing a little bit of editing, like not on your scale, but a little bit for YouTube or a little bit for Instagram and stuff. Sometimes you film stuff and you think, oh yeah, but I did it, so like I want to use that because and I want to use that and I want to use that, and then it gets too long. But then once it's all there, you don't want to cut anything out, and you have to be a bit like, well, it needs to cut out. Like no one really
Yeah.
needs to see that. It's just because I feel like I want that in, and then
And
you have to
also
like
a
cut it
lot,
out, and it,
yeah,
yeah,
a lot of the time as well, like and this is no shade to any of the Hyrox staff, sometimes they will just walk in the shot, so I'm like, I
yeah,
can't use that
yeah.
one. So like I mean, they have to do a job, the judges, the volunteers, they're amazing, they have to do what they have to do.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I'll be filming a sled video, for example, like a sled pull, and then or like a photographer will walk in front, and I for one am not one to say get out the way. So like it's sometimes I will just film as much as possible so I have as much footage as I can, and then I will just chop and change between each clip if it's like 2 seconds on that one that works and 5 seconds on this sled pull that works, and like then I'll change the angle when I go to the other end of the sled. It depends on the layout of the venue obviously, but yeah, I normally have a lot of videos that are just seconds, and I'll just chop it all together. But yeah, always film more than you need.
Yeah, fair. And then is there anyone or anything you would love to film like for in a Hyrox? Is there like a you'd be like, oh, that's like I've made it if I'm filming this
Category wise, or
like
like,
anyone like individual category like at the world champs, or is this something that you just as a videographer you would love to film that you're like, oh, I would love to capture that.
I mean, my goal and I would love to be on the other side of the fence.
Okay.
That's the goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, that's obviously Hyrox have. I mean, their media staff are so highly trained and highly skilled. I mean, I have so much respect for them. That's the goal, to be on the Hyrox media team, I'd say. But then also, I love my job being able to do other things. Like, I love being able to go to other events, and they've got so much freedom. But in the sense of category wise, like filming an Elite 15 race would probably be up there. I'd have to like stick to one person. I wouldn't be able to do the whole thing.
Imagine.
Yeah, I'd have to stick to one athlete. Maybe let's just keep it within like the UK. Maybe like one of the like English athletes. Maybe
Like Sinead Bent
Sinead or Lucy. Yeah,
on the farmer's carry. You'll be
yeah, Sinead on the farmer's carry would be great. I'd be running down the track with her.
yeah, literally. You'll need your gimbal then.
I'd have to get the zoom lens out.
Oh,
But I'm very lucky in the sense that with my other fitness page, I do have a lot of connections to girls that are and men that are in the Elite 15. So like when I mean in Dublin, like I saw Sinead, got a few pictures for Sinead. Like I'll always do that for people that are my friends in the industry, because also it's a reward thing as well. Like there's so many people that look up to, let's just say Sinead because we're talking about Dublin, but like the amount of people that would have seen those pictures of Sinead because like they love her is such a benefit for my business too, and I love to be able to give back to people. But yeah, filming the Elite 15 race would probably be up there. But I do love filming pro races. Like they are my favorite, just because they're so fast paced. Maybe I'm a bit weird to say that, but I like being stressed.
You thrive in the chaos and the stress and the
And like there is times as well where if it is a pro race, I will have to just put like, if you see me around, I put like AirPods in, no music's playing. It's literally just to block out and like just to lock in. And it's not to say like no one talk to me, but like if I've got headphones in and the camera, people won't usually come up to me. And it's I mean I'm so sometimes people do come up to me and I'm so appreciative. It's like so nice. They're like, oh, I love your videos, and I'm just like, thank you so much, but I've really got to go. Like I don't want to be rude, but I have like strict like time schedules that I need to get to the next station, and I don't want to miss it for the client. But yeah, there's so many people that will be so kind at the events, and I get messages being like, you look really busy, I didn't want to bother you, I love your content, please can you film me on this day in this event? And I'm there like, oh, I wish you'd come and say hello, but obviously I don't know where I was at the time. So
yeah, I think people can appreciate when someone's working, can't they like know that you've got to try and get to where you need to get to.
Or if I'm in like the cafe, like with my headphones on or a laptop, and I'm like, it's hunchback, like trying to get it all done. Everyone's there like, oh God, she looks stressed. I'm like, no, I'm just really, really enjoying this editing. Like sometimes I look probably really, really miserable, but I'm like so concentrating on what I'm doing.
So focused, like laser focused.
Yeah.
And you mentioned like working with some of the, obviously you work with ESN and Gymshark. Do you just do you work with them and do some like videography and photography as well, or do you just is that from just your fitness page that you're like an ambassador or sponsored by them, or what's the situation?
Yeah, so from LB Fit and my fitness page, I'm affiliated with Gymshark and ESN. I have actually done some work with Gymshark. I filmed some of their run clubs that they did. It's like a girls only run club. I think it was back end of last year. So yeah, I have done work with Gymshark for LB Visuals, and that obviously came from being affiliated with LB Fit. So yeah, it's definitely a bonus having that page. ESN, I have done a few. They've had like athlete training days. If they've done like I think they did a turf games once, and I got some footage for them. But they also do have their own media team, which I love. I've got a great relationship with them too, and they know what I do for a job. But yeah, it's more of a ambassador side of things, but it obviously opens doors for my personal business too.
Yeah, it's quite good to have the cross, isn't it? And I guess big companies and like they always want footage and they always want
absolutely
capture things. So you're quite an asset if you're like an athlete and a videographer and a photographer, you know? It's
and there is so many photographers and videographers that will work with like Gymshark and ESN, and that, for example, like we'll go to affiliate days with Gymshark and all the photographers there I'll have my camera and they're like, are you here to actually be behind the camera or in front of it? And I'm like,
Yeah.
Today I'm actually going to be in front of the camera, so if you
Yeah.
don't mind.
Yeah.
There is a lot. I will always bring my camera to those things because also like I know from a photographer standpoint like how demanding those days can be. So if I can just do my own and have my own and take a little bit of work out of their day, then yeah. And a lot of it's funny like when we go to these days, a lot of my friends are like, oh, like can you get a picture of me? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then they're like, I'll get one for you. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, well, how do I use it?
Yeah, I know. I was just like, you
It's
shit
not
out
like
there.
and I'm like, no, it's really simple. Just it's a point and shoot, buttons there, and they're like, it's not in focus. How do I change this? And then it says, they're like, what does this mean? And I'm there like, let me. I was like, you go first. I'll set it up all the way perfectly for you, and then I'll go stand there, and then you just press the button. And my friends are so good with it, but they're learning, and they always say like, oh, I just want to be able to give back like what you've done for me, and I'm like, you'll get there. It just takes
that
time.
Would so be me. I'd be like, what do you do?
Most
Like,
people say like, God, I didn't realize the camera was so heavy. Like that's the first
Yeah.
thing people say. Or whenever I say like, I need to get something in my bag or something, and I say to someone like, do you mind just holding it? And they literally hold it like this, and they're like, and they don't move, and I'm like, it's okay. It's like when you get given like a newborn baby, you don't.
Yeah,
want
I was just
to.
thinking of a newborn baby when everyone's like really awkward and they're like, oh, I don't want to support the head, and they're like just supporting the legs.
No, it's so funny, but no, I literally I love my job is my favorite thing in the world, and I'm so blessed to be able to call it like my everyday role. And it's like I think it's just one of those things as well. Like coming up to my 2-year anniversary, doing it, like it's just amazing what I've built off something that was so negative. And I think it's just something that everyone, if you have a dream, like you just have to go for it. Like it's one of those things.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that probably leads us quite nicely onto me asking the final question, and maybe you've just answered it there. But
I was like, it was such a good answer. I was like, damn.
you can elaborate. I'll let you have the same answer twice if you want. But it would be, what message or advice would you give to your younger self or the next generation of girls coming up?
Okay, yeah, I've you just answered it. So yeah, I mean, growing up, you know what your strengths are, you know what you love, and as you grow up into adulthood, like things can change, and it's not a smooth sailing like journey. You can't just be like, one day I'm just gonna become an athlete, or I'm gonna become a photographer. Like it's not that simple. You have to do things that unfortunately you might fail at to get to where you want to be. And for me, that was being made redundant twice. Like it wasn't nice in the moment, and it was something that I was a bit like, oh well, everyone else has got these big adult jobs and they've been in them for years and everyone's so successful around me, and I would always talk down on myself. And I think, as if I was to talk to her again, I would just say that, like, you're good at something, just keep believing in it. Like time is your biggest, what's the word I'm looking for, like, I mean,
It's your advantage, isn't it? Because
yeah, advantage. Yeah, like you have to, if you really believe you're good at something and you are willing to put in the work, you just have to go for it. And I think, yeah, it's not as simple as quitting a job and then just going for it. Like I was put in a situation where I unfortunately had it taken away from me, and that made me want to push and spur on further. But yeah, it's, even if you just give yourself, like I gave myself time like frames. I said, give myself 6 months, see where I am. And then when they got to the 6 month bit, I was like, okay, it's working, let's continue. Because like, you just have to evaluate it every step at a time, and then from that point onwards, like you will get to where you just have to keep dreaming. Like it's not delusional. Like you have to just, like, you have to keep going. Like I think a lot of people, when I said, oh, I'm gonna do this and and they were like, oh, okay. And a lot of people didn't believe it. But yeah, I don't know, I like to prove people wrong. So, I think a lot of people should as well. Like you should. I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself growing up academic wise at school. Like I didn't really have the confidence, and I knew that it wasn't made for me. So I'm so happy now to say, like, I'm confident and I know I'm good at what I do, and I wish other people had that as well.
Yeah, and I think it can be hard, like when you're young and in school, and it is a lot. I mean, maybe it's changing now, but it was always the kind of like academic route at the university, and the get this job and do this, and like, I mean, you've proven the point that there's
Yeah,
not
I
that
didn't even
straight
view
path.
universities. I didn't even go to look at them. I was like, I don't want to go. I don't.
Yeah, and like you can make a successful career out of what you're passionate about, and if you believe in it, then you've just got to give it the time. And I think the time scales is a good point. Then at least you're kind of working towards something, and you can reevaluate, and it's not this like open-ended thing of you not really knowing how it's going to go or where you stand. But if you have like little chunks of, oh well, how is it after 6 months, and am I
Yeah.
okay, am I like making enough money to live, is it going to like be successful, and then you can like put things in place to maybe help or do something like to give you a bit more funding some another way. Like it's a
Absolutely.
good way to
And
do
you
it.
honestly as well, just talk to people. You never know who you can talk to. Like if I didn't speak to you guys, I wouldn't be here right now. If I didn't, like, it just, these things like that, like I think there's so many doors that open just by talking. And I know it can be scary if you're like, oh, but what if they don't want to speak to me, or what if they think I'm not good at what I do? Like, but 99% of the time everyone is so focused on what they're doing that if you just build your bridges and keep going, then you will find yourself in some pretty crazy scenarios, and it's really cool.
Yeah,
No, I agree
absolutely.
with that totally. And I think the whole thing about, like you said, about talking to people and just being out there, because like we started this podcast and we were like, oh, I don't even know whether we'll get anyone on, and we were like, oh
Yeah,
well, we'll just start. But honestly, most people, I'd say actually everyone we reach out to says yes. It just depends whether people's schedules line up. Like
yeah,
that's probably the biggest thing. But like you said, you've lost nothing by speaking to people or
no.
by asking people something. You're just back where you started. So
And you gained experience as well,
yeah,
like
just
speaking to
go for it.
people, it's so good. Yeah,
Yeah, gives you confidence, doesn't it, to move forward?
yeah, that's something as well a lot of people have said to me, like whenever they meet me, they say like, oh, you just so confident and bubbly, and I'm just like, I'm not always like this. I was like, I like to put on a front, but when I'm in like work mode, I'd like to make my clients feel heard and feel seen and feel comfortable, because also there's nothing worse than having a big camera lens shoved down into your face, so when you're literally like nearly on death's door and you're thinking they know they're gonna love it, but then also like it can be really daunting, and some people are like, oh, I've never had anything like this before, like I don't really know what you need me to do, and I'm like, absolutely, just I will just follow you, like
Yeah.
I don't want to make something that doesn't align with them as a human, if that makes sense. Like it needs to fit them.
Yeah, you
And
don't want them to change what they do just
no,
because
no,
you're there. You just
absolutely
want them to
not.
be
That's the
them, and
beauty of
then
being
yeah.
creative. Like it's everything's different.
Mm. I
No,
think for
I love
like
it.
anyone, I mean, we'll come on to like where everyone can find you, but if anyone is thinking of getting you as a videographer at their next Hyrox race, we would 100% recommend it. I mean, I've got to admit, I think I maybe saw you once, but I kind of black out everything when I go. Like,
Faye
So
doesn't
good as
even
well
know
when
what
you're
we're doing.
racing.
I don't, half the time I don't even know where I'm going. So,
Oh, she's so in the zone in the race. I'm like, and she's like, oh, I didn't see them. Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see. I'm
You
like,
know what? That's funny because one of my biggest fears is like, oh, what if they don't see me and they think I've just disappeared?
no, I wouldn't even, honestly.
But then
I
also, I
think
think when I'm
I
in the
remember seeing you
race,
once.
I don't look out. I can't even hear the
No,
crowd. Like,
no.
yeah.
yeah.
I was talking to Jade Skillen yesterday, actually. I trained with her yesterday morning. She went, oh, I got to the sled pull and I was screaming at you and you didn't even look at me like
No.
once. And she was like, I just wanted you to know I was there. And I was like, oh, mate, I'm like, I had no
Yeah,
idea. She was
I do.
like,
Yeah, I do love as well. Like whenever I do become like a part-time coach as well when I'm doing it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like I get really invested in my client because I'm like I know what that feels like and I know what you need to do, and it's like you just need that boost. And I'm thinking, well, in my head, I'm like, well, they're definitely like a higher up coach or athlete than me, but there's nothing that I can say that won't boost them on. Like it's still
Yeah.
important. And sometimes I'm like, no, I've got a job to do. Like stop shouting at people.
Yeah. Keep going. You're like,
Yeah,
no, it's so good.
like
if
a
you
split
don't put
personality.
music in your content, it'll just be you screaming at
Yeah.
everyone you're filming.
That's why I have to have music on it all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Yes.
so
Go
if
on then.
somebody is, if we have sold them on getting their next Hyrox videoed, where can they go to find out more about you? Where can they go to find your fitness page? Like, do you want to share your, yeah, everything?
Yeah, of course. So my personal fitness page is LB Fit with two T's. And it's got a dot, sorry, LB.fit with two T's. And then my business page is also on Instagram and TikTok, and it's lb.visuals with two S's. So they are the similar, and a lot of people actually don't put two and two together, which I find really fascinating. They're like, oh, I actually knew who you were. I was like,
You're the same person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I tried to make them similar just so to make it easy. But yeah, LB Visuals is my business page and LB Fit is my personal fitness page.
Perfect.
We'll link
And
them
then,
anyway.
yeah, absolutely. Can
Thank
people
you.
just DM you if they're like interested, or do you have like a form or
Yeah, so it's I normally put on my stories where I'm going and when tickets, well, not tickets, sorry, slots become available. When the tickets become available, the slots become available, basically. And yeah, they just DM. I work with a first come first served basis just to make it fair to everyone. I'll make a list, and then obviously category dependent. If the category is quote unquote full, there is a wait list, and then when the times come out, I'll see if I can slot people in.
Okay,
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool. And you've got a broadcast channel as well, don't you? Where you
Yeah,
like
so
share
that
some
I
stuff.
pop in there where I'm
Yeah.
going before I put it on stories, just to make it a bit more kind of isolated. Well, for the people that really want it, that they'll see it
Yeah.
first. So yeah,
So
I
if
like to.
someone's really invested,
Yeah,
like
it's
join your
important. I
broadcast
think if
channel.
you're really invested in my business, I should be able to give back to them. So yeah, I have a broadcast channel, and like yesterday, I put out my 2026 dates, and then this morning I put them on my story, so they get a head start basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant.
Perfect. Love that. Well, thank you so much for your time and giving us an insight into what it's like behind the lens. It's been really cool to chat to you, and yeah, we really appreciate you giving up some time to speak to us.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you.
Oh no, you're welcome, and thank you to everyone listening.